Hello, and welcome back to Lately Fashionable. I usually have sewing content related to my year of sewing vintage in preparation for my year of wearing vintage. But today I wanted to have a little sit down and chat with me video while I do some hand sewing for my year of sewing vintage. This is for a project that you will see soon. I hope to have this ready as the next video in my series, but since I do have hand sewing to do, I thought this would be a good time to catch up, reconnect, clarify some things. I just have a lot of thoughts to share. So today, as I film this, it is the day after the second inauguration of President Trump, because we did not learn our lesson the first time. And I should probably say right off the bat, although my mission is to dress vintage, that is with the understanding that I do not wish to live in any time period before the time I am currently in, although going back to 2015 would be kind of amazing. As always on this channel, I hope to evoke vintage style, not vintage values, which is a slogan I have taken from Dandy Wellington. If you're not familiar with his art, his music, or his vintage aesthetic, you should check out his site, which I will link below. And I do hope that I make my values apparent through my words and deeds. But I also do know that dressing vintage can come with some baggage, and that some assumptions could be made about my political leanings based on the way I like to dress and do my hair. And I want to unequivocally state that I do not want to go back to the 1950s or the 1940s, which is actually my preferred style era. And although I am a homemaker, a stay-at-home parent, you could also say unemployed, that is my choice, the choice that my husband and I have made together for our family. He would be perfectly happy with me working, but any job I would take with my job skills, as they would appear on a resume, would not pay for childcare, not even for the hours in which my children are not in school. And I don't want to, so I prefer to stay at home. That is my preference, that is my choice, and I would not presume to make that choice for any other person, nor do I wish to imply that my lifestyle is in any way aspirational. So that is one thing I want to make clear, and I hope it is clear, and I don't have to say it again. But I digress. I have been thinking a lot since the election about the future of my channel and how I want to handle moving forward. I feel like I'm in a somewhat unusual position in that I have a platform, albeit a very small one, so I cannot just behave as a private citizen. I feel I have a responsibility to my audience, even though it is very small. On the other hand, I do not make any money from my YouTube videos, and I don't know if that's surprising or not. I know that when I watch my own videos, which I have been doing recently for research purposes, I do see ads on my own videos. So I imagine that you as my audience are also seeing ads on my videos, and I do not make any money from those. YouTube makes money from those ads, I do not. So that of course means that my livelihood is not tied up in these videos, and I don't fear backlash, at least financially, if I disagree with the prevailing political trends. So for those reasons and more, I do feel that I should at least acknowledge the current events going on in the world, and I guess say my piece. It would be easier, I suppose, to bury my head in the sand, pretend everything was fine, everything was normal. or at least put on a brave face and I guess just not acknowledge. It's complicated because this is a sewing channel. This is not a political channel. I make art. I feel that my videos are my art. I put a lot of time and effort into making videos that I would want to watch as a viewer, and I enjoy it. It's a lot of fun for me. As I said, I don't make any money from this. I'm doing it because it's fun. I like making videos. I even enjoy the editing process, which was not always the case, but I have honed my skills enough that I am proficient in my editing and, more importantly, efficient. So it doesn't take forever and ever to get a video done these days. And I do believe that it is the role of artists to make art during trying times and to share that art with whoever wants to see it. So I am going to continue making my videos. I'm going to continue working towards my year of dressing vintage starting in March. And I'm going to continue to find joy in what I do because I have to. I have to find the joy in my sewing and in my making videos and sharing them with the world, because otherwise I will sink into depression and hopelessness, despair. I know that. I've been there. I don't want to go back. Didn't like it. So partly I'm doing this for selfish reasons. I'm very clear-eyed about that. But that's only one aspect of why I will continue making videos, and why they will largely be, I hope, joyful and filled with sewing content. This is what I need. This is how I'm going to get by. It's my way of whistling in the dark. And I think that's reason enough to keep going. But I do have other reasons. My other main driver is giving back. Because I found YouTube and the sewing community on YouTube in particular to be such a balm for my soul during lockdown in 2020 and beyond. And I'm still using it that way. I watch so many videos, so many creators, because they bring me joy, they bring me peace, and they give me inspiration. So if I can offer that in return, or paying forward, it's worth it for me. And the third reason is I don't want people to worry. I received many messages, both directly and indirectly, from family, friends, strangers, and acquaintances after my first video post-election. Mostly very concerned about my mental health and well-being. So I want to assure my audience that I am doing fine. I'm doing much better, and I intend to keep sewing. I got my mojo back, I guess. It took some time. It definitely took some time. But I am here. I am creating. And I'm going to stay here. And I'm going to stay creating. And I am very grateful for all of you for being here. And for your messages and your support, even when it's silent. Although my audience is small, I do feel very loved. So thank you. And I have goals, frankly. I have goals of growing my audience. And I have goals of creating a community of like-minded vintage fashion lovers. And I hope you stick around. So those are the main things I wanted to talk about. I have a lot of plans for this channel for the coming year. Plans I am excited about. And plans that I can't wait to share with you. And I hope that this little channel can be a light, a safe place. If my role is to entertain, to keep your spirits up, I humbly accept that honor and that responsibility. In conclusion, this is where I am. This is where I want to be right now. This is where I will stay. I will continue to make my art, and I will continue to share with you. And I hope that you get something out of it, but even if you don't, I'm glad you're here. I may not always be super cheerful in my videos going forward, because I do pay attention to the news, and I try to keep aware of what is happening. sometimes to the detriment of my mental health. But I'm going to keep creating. I think that's why I'm here. And I will see you soon. Bye. What's the word? And be helpful if I knew what I wanted to say. Goodness gracious. Okay, my battery's dying.